Tonight, while you're asleep, your brain is going to destroy most of what happened to you today. Not by accident, on purpose. You won't feel it happen. You won't remember what you forgot. Here's the strange part. Neuroscientists estimate your brain actively discards the vast majority of your daily experiences every single night while you sleep. That conversation you had at lunch? Gone by next week. What you wore on Tuesday? Already deleted. Why would evolution build a brain that erases its own data? Every night, on purpose? The answer starts with a process called synaptic pruning. During deep sleep, your brain physically weakens the connections between neurons that stored today's least important information. Researchers at institutions studying sleep and memory have found this happens mostly during a specific stage called slow-wave sleep, when your brain literally shrinks certain synaptic connections by measurable amounts. Your brain isn't failing to save your memories, it's choosing not to. Have you ever wondered why you can't remember most of your childhood, but you remember exactly where you were during one specific emotional moment? That's not a flaw. That's the filter working exactly as designed. Emotionally significant memories get tagged for storage. The hormone cortisol, released during stress or intensity, acts like a stamp that tells your brain, keep this one. Everything else, the neutral, repetitive, forgettable moments, gets marked for deletion. If your brain saved everything, you would drown in your own memories. Now here's where it gets unsettling. There are people alive today who don't forget. Not most things, not almost everything, nothing. The condition is called hyperthymesia. Fewer than 100 confirmed cases exist worldwide. Give someone with hyperthymesia any random date from their past, and they can tell you what day of the week it was, what they wore, what the weather was like, what they ate. Not approximately. Exactly. It sounds like a superpower. Ask the people who actually have it, and the story changes completely. One of the first documented cases, a woman researchers called AJ, described her own memory not as a gift, but as a burden she couldn't put down. Every embarrassment, every argument, every small humiliation from decades ago, replaying with the same emotional intensity as the day it happened. She wasn't remembering her past. She was reliving it on a loop, with no forgetting to soften the edges. Why would a perfect memory feel like a prison instead of a gift? Because forgetting isn't the opposite of memory. It's what makes memory bearable. Every time you forget something painful, your brain is doing you a favor. Every time an old wound stops hurting exactly as much, that's not weakness. That's your neurons quietly deleting the sharpest edges of the pain, one synapse at a time, while you sleep. Sleep researchers now believe this nightly deletion process may be just as important for mental health as the memories your brain chooses to keep. Without it, the brain would have no way to separate what matters from what doesn't. No way to move forward. No way to heal. So tonight, when you fall asleep, your brain will begin quietly erasing today. The argument you're still upset about, the mistake you're replaying, most of it won't survive until morning. That's not your brain failing you. That's the most human thing it does. Choosing every single night what deserves to stay and letting the rest go so you can keep living.